What's going on, ladies and gents? Dalibor here for T3G, and welcome to a live stream on Tech Monday. Now, I did this last week. It was a different kind of video. This week, we're actually talking about the last week's experiment with doing everything live. I'm joined, of course, by Hadis.
Yep.
And we're going to be talking about kind of how everything went. What I found kind of to jump right into it. Last week's experiment was meant to be a full week of live videos, but staying on the same subject matter and same schedule that I had. So we had a tech video on Monday, we had a travel video on Tuesday, 1 Minute Wednesday. We were meant to have a travel or event video on Thursday, and then of course our game stream on Friday. But we do game streams on Fridays normally, so that wasn't any more of a challenge than it had been. But I mean, just starting off on Monday, all of Sunday, I kept playing around with like my DSLR, trying to figure out how I was going to get a second angle set up. You know, a lot of people use a DSLR setup through like an Elgato and things like that, but apparently in our area they're sold out everywhere. There are no Elgatos in stock in the area. So one of those things where I came up with the idea midweek the week before, and so the biggest challenge for the Monday video was trying to figure out how to set up an additional camera angle. Now, the easiest way that I came up with that was to do the extra webcam that I have. So I took the second webcam, the 930 or whatever, the Logitech, just set it up right over it on a tripod, and it worked out pretty well for the most part. What do you think as far as like how that came out?
I mean, it came out fine. You know, I think live streams are very limited on what you can do. So, I mean, for the fact that you had two angles, it worked out pretty fine. Unless you have your own like crew that's focusing on like what's being focused on and having multiple angles and switching between those angles while you're demonstrating a piece of tech like that, it came out as good as it's going to come out. So
yeah, you brought up a great point. I mean, a lot of the people that stream on a regular basis, I mean, the first people that come to mind are like Collider Video. They do their movie talk. They live stream it every single day, but there's probably 15 to 20 people involved in get that stream. They've got, I think, 5 camera angles. You know, they've got people that put up graphics, and there's a whole staff behind that. But even somebody like Jay's 2 Cents, when he does his kind of like what we're doing right now, he does tech talks. He's been doing it for a long time, and it's like stuff that's preset. He's got stuff that's pre-set up, and for the most part it's just 2 faces and then anything else he wants to show up, you know, two people on stream. I think having multiple angles is ambitious, especially if you're doing it, you know, solo, and I like the way it came out for the most part. I would have liked to have some more, you know, kind of on-screen shots and things like that, and you know, that's something to think about in the long run if I want to do something like that again. I know there's apps where I can put the Android screen on the computer screen so that I can get a crisp shot of it. But otherwise, I mean, I think for the most part it came out all right.
yeah, for sure. I mean, really, there's not much else to say about that. I mean, it came out, like I said, it came out as good as it's going to come out with one person running the show for a live stream.
Now, Tuesday was super fun. Thank you again for driving.
Yeah.
I wanted to, it was your idea. I wanted to show off something cool, like a cool area, and you came up with Rosemont, which was just genius because Rosemont is great to drive at night, especially. And the biggest issue there was that the signal kept dropping out. You know, and I have Verizon, and I always talk about how Verizon's got, like, you know, the bombest reception, but even that, you know, even with my supposedly best reception on the market, still had a bunch of dropouts. There was a bunch of moments where it would just, you know, cut mid-sentence out to the next sentence. That's kind of a big deal, especially like if, you know, people who are trying to maybe vlog or something like that on the go. I think especially if you're moving around, that's going to be a huge challenge. Because I mean, I think that's the biggest issue I had with that video, is that and like quality. Because like my phone video is really good quality, but the live stream dropped down significantly.
Right. I mean, that's gonna be the biggest thing. Is the biggest thing I think for live streaming is it's still gonna be a primarily in my opinion, a video game thing. I don't think you can utilize it for other things. Like Collider is a good example of how it can be utilized if you have a huge production. Even though they'll say, it didn't cost them that much, it's still bigger than what one person has. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, supposedly you have the best carrier and technically one of the best phones on the market, and there was reception loss. The stuff on the go is not going to be optimal. So besides gaming and stuff like what Collider does, you're really going to be. I think it's not a still foreseeable thing to keep doing for your audience. I think it's, in my opinion, it's just going to create a bad experience
Right.
because of the dropouts, because of the inconsistent stuff. So yeah, it was fun, but it's not. I think those type of videos are better edited, anyways. I think they're more entertaining edited. Where doing it live, it's just too many hiccups and just I don't know, just talking about the area. You can always do that and still edit it better than just actually trying to show it off live. So
Right. I mean, like, especially with that fountain is really, really cool, but like we can only drive by it at that time. Other besides like parking, getting out, walking to it, which is then makes an even longer video, and which makes it.
yeah, I mean, then we would have been like 30 minutes easy live stream.
Right.
So
Exactly. So I mean, there's definitely that loss of what you can do with it. Creativity, especially, is. I could have gotten some really cool edits done, especially in that area, and I still might go back and do that on a different travel video. But like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think there's a limitation to live streaming, and yeah, gaming is absolutely probably the best use of it. And if you have a budget and a huge cast or cast and crew, yeah, use something like a Collider, Movie Talk. Like, yeah, that stuff is possible. But
right.
in reality, like game streaming, I think is still, like you said, is the main avenue, and it works the best for it.
The only other thing is, even like, there could be an argument even against streaming. Like, yeah, you can stream from one system, but usually it's glitchy. Some games don't react good with streaming. Some games or some systems can't even run streaming and playing the game. So you have to usually have a separate system that streams for you. Nothing too powerful, but just something that takes that load off the main system where you're gaming on. That's why a lot of people use stuff like the Elgato, still even with PC systems and with console systems, because it just takes that stress off. So yeah, I mean, it was done as well as it could be, with the notion of that moving around and stuff like that. So
Now, you said you've watched a few of the car channels and stuff like that do live streaming. Is that something they do like on the go, like driving around somewhere, or do they do it just like in a spot? Like,
the stuff I've seen for the car stuff that do live stream, a lot of it is, some of it is Q&A. The more recent guys that I watch that are specifically supercars, that do supercars only, like, oh, my friend's getting a new car, I'm live streaming it, or basically that's, or I'm checking out this car show real quick, live stream. And to me, it's like, yeah, that's cool, live stream, but you're still not gonna answer questions. So if you're not going to answer questions, you're going to be worried about what's in front of you and trying to, show off the cars. It's better edited. I feel like that's just kind of like, oh, let's get content out, so live stream. And usually it always ends up poor signal, poor quality, video quality is junk. And yeah, so yeah, it's to me, when I watch those, I'm like, oh, this was just an attempt to release a video, not necessarily because it was going to be a good video.
Right.
And I've noticed, like, a lot of guys, like, especially when live streaming and doing that with the car stuff, when they're live streaming and trying to show off something, they don't even pay attention to the audience that's talking to them. They don't say, hey, what's going on? Or, mention some names that are, popping up that are saying something. Like right now we got Big Smoke commenting about having a second person with a second camera to switch streams and stuff like that. So, like we acknowledge them in the stream, but those guys don't because they're worried about just showing off the car. So like, I think it's just a measure. It's just like okay, here's a video because, editing one would have been too long, and I think that's kind of like the problem with people trying to release stuff same day and doing daily stuff. You have to realize that might not be a possibility. I mean, look at TV shows on TV. They come out once a week. Even the reality stuff comes out once a week. Why? Because that gives them time to record it, edit it, put it properly together, release it, and have plenty of time. So like, I think this notion of, we got to release stuff every day, sure, but it's not going to be as good as it could be. So, and you can see that with a lot of automotive vloggers. Usually it's not about automotive, it's about them. And me as a automotive enthusiast, as much as like, okay, you're cool and I like seeing your reaction towards the automotive industry, but like a lot of times it's not even a reaction towards the auto. It's like, I'm gonna go grab a coffee and I'm gonna go to my warehouse where my shirts are, but like it has nothing to do with the car. So it's like once again, to me, it's like, I think that idea of like, we got to release videos, here's a live stream just so I can release a video, I think that's just kind of a poor choice. I mean, here's the thing. Kudos to them for trying to release something to their audience, but like at the same time, it's, in my opinion, I'd rather have a nice edited video that I can enjoy and watch,
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a perfect point, and I appreciate you watching out for the comments. What's up, Big Smoke? Thanks for hanging out as always. It's like you said, that's a huge thing. I was actually genuinely concerned about that. Wednesday, when I did the 1 Minute Wednesday, that was kind of a big thing. Is I jumped on. I was like, hey, it's gonna be a 1 Minute Wednesday. It's gonna be a quick video. And by the time I was done editing is when somebody came on. Like somebody started watching it. I don't know who it was because I didn't even have a chance to get a comment because I came on, knocked out because it's a 1 minute video. And that's the thing is, it was weird to me to do it live because it was like boom, boom, boom. Here's the thing,
you're not,
and that's it.
Yeah, you're just not gonna have enough time to even react with the audience. So like they're like, oh, cool, live stream. We're gonna get to chat to the creator, but not really. You're not, So I think it's all about what you're doing. If like you're at gaming, even in gaming, it's sometimes hard because you're so focused in the game, doing whatever you're. Yeah, so like to try to track what somebody's saying while you're involved, like for instance, Overwatch, you're doing comp, you want to get the objective or whatever it is, you're focusing on killing and not dying, so there's no way you can pay attention to that chat. While now, of course, some people, depending where they're at, they have moderators and stuff like that are willing to do that for them, but then that takes away from that personal connection, the audience is there for you. And now you have a moderator that's, responding to them and not you. Granted, it's on your behalf, but still, it's not you. So it's like, it's very limited in the sense of how much you can do with it. Yeah, it's great when you can communicate with the audience live directly, not in the comments, but that all depends. Like, I think Q&As are a good example. Like, hey, I'm here to answer some Q&As. You've got about 15, 20 minutes. I'll shout out your name and I'll shout out the question if if it's a question that I pick because I like it, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that you're right. You're absolutely right. I think Q&As are a great example of how you could do live stream, because it's a direct interaction with the audience. Like, that's what it's for. Whereas anything else, even with game streams, like you said, you're doing something else. You're in the middle of something else. You might not get to a question. People might get salty. I mean, like, if somebody that's been there, like, hey, they've been around for a long time. Let's say it's your first live stream. You've been doing videos for a couple years. It's your first live stream, and your biggest fan is in there, like, hey, answer my question. And if you're game streaming and you're just really in the game and you don't see the chat, then what? Then then it looks like you're ignoring your biggest fan. And
right, and that might not be the case, but it feels sometimes somebody might say it feels that way, Absolutely. And that's going to be, you're always going to be limited to what you can do. So yeah, like the 1 Minute Wednesday was quick, but right away, like I thought about the thing you were trying to show off was the startup items, but there's also the services that start up that are not part of the startup items, but also are not part of Windows that you can also remove. But you can't do that in a 1 Minute Wednesday on a live, but you can do that if you're editing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like certain
Right,
things are
exactly.
also harder to like fully convey a message when you're trying to do something live. So even though it was a cool idea and it was, it was a good attempt and stuff like that, I think it's still very limited to what can be done and how well it can be done.
Absolutely. Thursday is also another great example. Like that was I wanted to do one of every video that we normally have throughout the week. Thursday is normally our event footage on every other week, and I was meaning to go to an event that had been happening on Thursdays, but then as I got closer to Thursday, I kept looking for it and I couldn't find an event page for it, and I was like, what is going on? So I went to the meetup group on Facebook, like their group page, and they had no events posted since July. And I was like, what the hell's going on? I reached out to a guy that goes there normally, and he said, oh yeah, they got kicked out from the venue. So it was it was a car event, the Bolingbrook meetup, and they got kicked out of the venue. They were like it happens
Which
often.
happens a lot,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
because
it
you have
happens.
that what
Stupid people do stupid stuff and ruin it for the
exactly,
rest of us.
exactly. You have that one or two guys that do something idiotic, and the whole group gets kicked out. So
Yeah, I actually noticed on their group page, a gentleman had posted, and he said, "Hey, I'm the property manager of this mall. I'm getting a lot of complaints from my tenants. They want me to hire security. You guys are making a lot of noise. There's a lot of trash being left. How can we work together to fix this?"
And that's the problem. The guys that are throwing it want to work to fix it, but without them having, like, let's say bodyguards, whatever you want to call them, people enforcing the
Yeah,
rules,
yeah,
then you're just going to have that. You're going to have a lot of trash, a lot of people burning
yeah,
out when they shouldn't. Like a rev here and there is not bad, but a rev that's like just sitting there, bah, 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 like that's annoying. You can give a nice rev, but then at the same time, you can overdo that as well.
yeah.
So it's just nobody, like, there's just too many people. And, this kind of goes back to a lot of other conversations that we have, but because there's free will, you're not going to be able to control what everybody does. Some people
Right.
are going to show up and respect what you're doing, and
Yeah.
then some people are going to show up, oh cool, car me, but I'm going to also be a dick, and then that happens. Like, everybody knows not to litter, but they still do it because they don't care. If
Right.
they're too late, or it's not that they're too they don't care, but they're too lazy to find a trash can and throw it away.
Yep.
That's that's
Yeah.
that's the unfortunate thing about basically anything that anybody tries to do. Is just there's always going to be somebody that ruins that, and that then goes back into, like, let's say you're somebody that's, oh, I usually make videos about this and I edit them, but let's see what I can do with live stream. Oh, it's no longer a thing.
Right, it's no
So
longer there. I scrambled. I tried to find another event. The only one I found was a larger event in another town. It was like an hour drive, and I was like, like it's a bigger event. I'm thinking they're gonna have like a DJ or something, and at which point then I'm gonna have an issue with copyright music. So if you're at a live event, if you're gonna stream, if there's other music there, you run into the potential problem of having music that you can't have on your video,
right.
and that stuff gets caught. That stuff gets picked up. I mean, we had an
Oh, I
issue
mean,
with
all the time, man.
we had an issue with our game stream a couple weeks ago where we talked. We were discussing, and certainly I think, and eventually they agreed with it. But not was it Bandai? Bandai put a hit on
Yeah.
our video because we looked at the One Punch Man.
Even though I don't think you even had the audio on.
I turned
I
on
don't.
the audio.
Yeah, you
and
turned on the audio, but
Yeah,
they
but
still try to call a copyright, and
I mean, here's the thing: it
ultimately,
is their footage, but it falls under fair use. Like we were discussing the character, his powers in
right,
relation to, like we were having a discussion on the subject. So it wasn't like I was just playing it for the sake of playing
right,
it.
right.
And I think that's the biggest thing is, with something like a live event, where if you're going to stream, you're not gonna you can't really say that you're you're not discussing the music. You're there. People are playing copyrighted music. You just happen to be in the area streaming.
Right,
So,
exactly.
and that could, you know, that could just be as simple as somebody puts a claim on the video and they get the ad revenue, or you get a strike, which puts you in a bad position on
Yeah, it
YouTube.
puts the channel. Yeah, it
Yeah,
puts the channel in a bad position because, you know, after a few strikes, you can lose your channel and then you have to start from scratch, or, you know, even if you're allowed to start from scratch. So,
right.
yeah, so it's you know, and that goes into live stream. Like it depending on what you're doing, it can be bad for the channel, or you might not just be able to run ads, you know. So like, yeah, you're trying to create a
Right.
video or you're trying to do a live stream, but you know, you're not getting any revenue out of it. And that's another whole different topic. Like people talk about, you know, YouTubers and money and being greedy and stuff like that, but that's a whole different topic. But yeah, it's so once again, it goes back to how much you're limited to do with streaming. As good of an idea as it is, it's tough. Well, Big Smoke says you're quiet, although on my end you're perfectly fine. But I haven't been listening to the stream.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I mean, I'm right here.
Maybe can you turn?
I'm looking at my mic on the thing. I don't know. It looks pretty good. So
Yeah, I was gonna say you sound. I'm trying to listen to the stream.
and this is the thing, and this is the kind of stuff you're going to come into technical issues as well. I mean, we've had that several times with our game
I mean,
streams.
everybody does. Even Jace Two Cents is a great example of when he does live streams, he can have technical issues with microphone sound quality, the quality of the stream because maybe the internet's not working good. And I'm sure even Collider, man. I mean, yeah, they're a company, so they might have that company perk of having stuff make sure it's 100%, but even they can't guarantee that. It's
Of course,
so.
yeah. I mean, I go back and I listen to some of our live streams, and the mic is super turned up, and I'm like, you can hear me breathing, and I'm like, man, that's kind of annoying. But then
Right.
there's ones where I'm listening, and I'm like, why am I so quiet? And I can't figure like it's. I don't really go in and mess with settings. You know, granted, I'm on a different user account, but I don't know. The settings look good. The mic is right here. I am kind of talking perpendicular to the mic, so maybe that's an
Yeah.
issue. But
I mean, I'm listening to the stream right now, and you sound fine. I got about halfway up, but then again, I am using a headset, so I guess
right,
depending who has a different setup, I don't. And I mean, between your mic and my mic, I am a little bit louder than you, so like somebody might have to adjust that.
sure,
But yeah. But once again, going into live stream, that kind of stuff works.
yeah. Friday, of course, went off without a hitch. I mean, that was our gaming videos are pretty much on point. We've got that pretty locked down. I still think it's funny. Half the time, I go back and play them, and I can't hear the music sometimes because I've got it turned down to such a degree where I can barely hear it on my end.
Right.
But I want it to still be in the background. But then sometimes I don't know. I can't even hear it. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
I mean
that's
that'll happen. I mean, it's tough to like when I stream to Twitch, I try to have some music depending on the game, and it happens a lot where I feel like it's overpowering me while playing. So it's like that's a tough call too. I mean, yeah, it's once again, I think the similarity with streaming for really anything is always going to be like how much you're limiting what you can do and stuff like that.
right. Well, yeah, that's. I think that we're just gonna stick to game streams for now. Unless we come up with something cool down the line. But I think it was a fun experiment. I really like the challenge of trying to. I mean, like I was definitely worried about 1 Minute Wednesday. I wasn't sure if I was just gonna go off. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to say what I needed to say in a minute. And that was one of those things. That was like it was live. You know, there was no, like you said, there was no editing. If I said something too long, I couldn't go back and say it again. So yeah, I kind of raced it. I saw the clock. I raced the clock, but I got it done. Yeah, there's a challenge with each kind of video that we do, but I think I like editing the videos to get it concise and on point. I think a lot of times in a lot of situations you're gonna have some dead air. You know, you're gonna have some, what am I trying to say, or how do I say this? And I think that automatically for me takes away from the situation. I listened to some videos. I was watching something the other day. I forget what it was, but the guy said something and then he said it again, and I was like, somebody didn't edit.
Yeah, that I've seen that a lot lately. I feel like I've seen that a lot lately with the guys that I've been watching for car stuff, and I'm like, did they just not like rewatch that part and realize they did that, or did they do that on purpose?
Right.
Like it didn't seem like it was on purpose, because it definitely looked like they just left it in there twice because they reset it when they were doing the vlog, and they just didn't edit it out. Like they didn't realize they left both parts in there.
Right.
So and you know, that's a whole different conversation on its own. You know, that goes back into trying to, you know, releasing video every day. You know, it's
but even with stuff that even with like stuff that's professional, it comes out every day. Like what are they called? Soap operas. Like soap operas are daily, 5 days a week. They come out and they're new episodes every single day, and they're hour-long episodes. But that's still like shot 3 weeks to 6 weeks to 4 months ahead. You know?
Yeah, like those episodes might be out, but they're already so far ahead that like they've had time to edit those episodes and all that. So
right. Like I've still got two 1 minute Wednesdays in the can. Like I just got to do a couple quick edits, and I've got the next 2 weeks 1 minute Wednesdays ready. And that's real nice, because then I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to be last minute like crud, like I got to put something out. So I mean this is going to be the last stream for until we do the game stream on Friday, and then it's going to be game streams on Fridays. I mean, I've got a video ready for next week. I got a new toy, so you know, the next big review, it's actually going to be, I'm calling it a reverse unboxing. That's what I'm calling it. I've got an idea of how to play it. It should be fun. But I got a new toy. I got an early birthday present, and that was cool. So, and then we talked to a company, and I don't want to put too much information out there in case it doesn't 100% pan out. But we were essentially promised some product next month, so we'll see if that comes through.
We were, and it's definitely interesting, but we'll see how that works out. You know, there's been other times where we were told, you know, we might gate something and we don't end up getting it. So
right, and we'll see. We're still reaching out. We're still you know, touching base with a bunch of different people and seeing what can happen. And we are nearly done with our first commercial, so that's going to be edited pretty soon here. And that's going to be released through the TACform website, I imagine, and through their Facebook. But we'll link you guys out when that comes out. I'm super excited about that. That we put in some work. Hottest over here with his track work, with his speedballing around the autocross track. It was amazing, fantastic. What did you end up notching down by the end? You took off.
I took off 5 seconds total at the autocross. So I started
my first autocross visit ever.
My first autocross visit ever. Never done it before. Technically, not to this extent. We have done those.
Yeah, those like little.
Yeah, we did those Lexus and right, the driving experiences. But like compared to this, like that was not even anywhere close. So yeah, first autocross event ever. I thought I was going to go a lot slower on that first run, but I was like, I feel pretty confident, so I just went pretty quickly. But I think it could have been a lot better time if, you know, there was different components and stuff like that. But due to how the car's set up, yeah, sure. I was really happy with it though. I thought it was a great time. I like how, you know, they switch it up of your racing, you're working and you're resting. Like that's pretty cool experience with autocross, but it was a lot of fun. I had a great time, and I think we got some good footage out of that, especially for the commercial. So
definitely, yeah, we got some great footage for the commercial. I'm gonna do an event video. You're gonna have a video. If you guys have not subscribed to Full Throttle Auto, hit that up. It's in the links down below. Yeah, that's all we got so far. That's all we got for today. Thanks for having this discussion. Thanks Big Smoke for hanging out as always.
As always, man, all the time, every time. It's like that notification. I think I mean I would say so. You know, I don't think we've had.
Big Smoke is our #1 fan as far as interaction. Like he's been with us for the longest as far as our live streams. But our boy Energy, what is it? Energy. I forget what it's called. I forget the name. Dang it. Dang it. But he commented recently too, and I'm like, man, like he's been around. He's been around.
Yes, but Big Smoke's always commenting. He's always seen us on live stream. It's like he's got every notification button clicked on even
We
Twitch
appreciate that,
and
sir.
and
We
YouTube.
appreciate
So that's pretty cool, man. That that's I think that's a cool feeling when you got somebody that enjoys listening to your crap talk or whatever you want to do. So
Right.
it's not like we're pros or anything, but it's still cool to see that there's somebody there.
Right. Well, that's going to be it for this one. Appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you guys come back. We're not going to have an event or a travel film tomorrow. We're going to do an event film since I didn't have an event film last week. So we'll see you guys on Wednesday for 1 Minute Wednesday. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you.
Yeah.